They didn't close the banks because the banks were still able to charge 100% of their loans. Here's another thing. Why are some businesses allowed to fail? Like Regal. Regal's going out of business.
That's sad.
Regal, right? Movie theaters. Okay,
I like Regal.
I like Regal too. We went there. We also like Regal because it was very convenient. So, because if it would have been United or Cinemas, we would.
I love United and Cinema.
I would have loved United Cinema. Right? Which one's closer? We had two, right?
Whichever one was the closest.
Right, and we even had the Regal card. Anyway,
and we used to get
free popcorn every time we went, trying to get us fat. Anyway, small. You upgrade, you go to large.
25 cents.
50. 50 cents. Only 50 cents.
And a Coke, every soft.
All right, fuck it. Bring it up. We'll share.
Not ice.
Not ice. Anyway, so why is a company like Regal not allowed to open up because of social distancing? It's an enclosed environment, but yet airplanes, I hear that they're completely stacked.
Oh yeah.
I hear that people
elbow side
to side, and they're allowed to continue. Why do they get these huge bailouts? And are allowed to continue doing business? Like why the airline industry? Because it brings monetary compensation to cities by traveling to them.
It's
is there a huge tax behind it that the government makes a lot? Because how much is taxes on a flight?
A lot of money.
Taxes are expensive,
and
right?
It depends if you're going like international. They have international tax.
So everybody has a tax. So you cannot even leave before you. So you have to pay to leave the country.
Oh yeah.
Because if you don't pay, you can pay for your flight, but if you don't pay the tax, that means you can't fly. So you have to pay. You have to pay to get permission to fly.
Yeah, you gotta pay to play.
All right. So they're not allowed to fail. The banks are not allowed to fail. But New York is shutting down right now restaurants again, supposedly, because of hotspots going on. They're going to be shutting down restaurants, bars all over again, and even some schools.
Well, look at here. We started on Wednesday. On Monday. No, Monday, because
that's right.
We started on Monday, and today is Thursday,
that's right.
And a school just got.
And an elementary school got a COVID-19 positive
I don't
case.
want that email. They don't even call you.
They send you an email. Your son or your student has come across a contact, or they do tracing?
Contact tracing.
Contact tracing, and
which.
Imagine. Fuck. Listen, parents, you got to sit down and talk to your kids, man. You got to sit down and talk to your kids and listen. I'm letting you go to school. You're going to school. We had the conversation with our son. Listen, I'm going to let you go back to school because you want to go back to school, and he's enjoying it. I think the kids need it. And yes, they're the least at risk right now, right? The teachers, on the other hand, are more at risk because a lot of these teachers are not even doing their PE with their freaking kids. They just put a YouTube video on, so you know they're freaking out of shape, right? And they're more at risk. But then kids going back home, once they get home, how about once they go to an after school? Because a lot of them can't even go back home. A lot of them still are going to after school. So they have to go through a lot of people to then come home. And not only that, your child has to keep that mask on from the moment they're in school. They get to take it off for lunch. And then they have to put it back on. And then when they go to the after school, what's happening at the after schools? At the after schools, are they letting the mask come off? Or are they keeping the mask on?
Well, this is the thing. If, in my opinion, only my opinion, if they keep their mask on, social distancing, people respect it, especially the older ones, they're going to be easier at that. Then they're going to be fine. Don't get close to the teacher.
Follow the rules, yeah.
Follow the rules.
Follow the rules.
Even when our son comes home, he jumps into the shower and takes a shower. He does whatever he needs to do to make sure that he cleans himself off.
We told them we're higher risk than you are. So by you bringing something to this house, we can, because we're in our 40s.
Yeah.
It's not.
And today, Grandpa went to pick him up with us, and they didn't even hug or anything. He just gave him a nice little elbow pound, and that was it until he came home, took a shower. So that's what we're doing. So parents, try to stay on top of your kids. Now, after school programs, that's scary because I've already seen a couple of commercials, and I don't know how the schools are doing it, but it has to be really hard because your guard goes down. You've been in school since 8 to 3.
Technically, you switch that mentality from school to after school. And after school, in the most sense, has always been a fun
for thing us. It do, always has.
Right? So you get there, they have to have a snack. Now, a lot of these places don't. If they have an outdoor sitting area, great. If they don't,
then they have to eat in a cafeteria.
Then they have to eat, which means their masks have to come off again. They have to eat, and when you're eating, spit's going all over the place and stuff like that, right? Then they come out, then they have to do homework and games and stuff like that. How are they playing these games? Are they playing them with the mask on?
I don't know, because I saw a place that was just had about like 16 kids on a mat, and the mat wasn't that big. There was no social distancing. They had no masks, and they were literally punching and wrestling each other, crying and screaming. And
so in the schools, they're following the rules, but once they get to these after-school programs, it gets kind of tricky because they don't have to follow by the same guidelines, or maybe they're not as worried as the school is.
Exactly.
So they may not. So now the kid doesn't even catch it in the school.
He's catching it somewhere else,
and then in a extracurricular activity after school, then
he brings it home, and then he brings it to school.
Then he brings it to school.
And it's not even the poor school's fault.
It wasn't even the school's fault. So you got to talk to your kids. You got to talk to them and tell them, hey, listen, it's serious. Please keep your mask on. And of course, it's going to be a lot harder if you have a pre-K or you have a first grader or you have a second grader, like young elementary school kids. I think middle schoolers and high schoolers can probably understand more. Maybe the first week that they're going to really understand, 2 weeks. But after that, I don't think
I do too. I think that everybody's going to start gravitating.
You know what? I've seen you for the last month. Come on. At that age, think about the smartest answers.
I don't know, because I see Pollux walking really far from other kids.
Yeah, like I said, it's the first week.
Yeah.
Right? So, but they've been together for a month. Let's say 2 months already into the school. I've been seeing you every day. I'm not sick. Are you sick?
You're not sick, no.
You're not sick. All right. So
anybody in your house sick? No. All right.
All right, cool. So now we can talk.
We'll work together.
Or we can just talk.
Yeah.
And hang out. Or kiss. Hey, when did you first get your first kiss? It was around middle school. Everybody starts kissing. That's the reason we had to take out all the kids from our after school program from middle school, because all they wanted to do was kiss, and I couldn't have the little guys watching those guys do that. So we had them there for one after school, and after after a month and a half, once they settled into middle school, we had to completely separate them from everybody else, because the way they spoke, the way they wanted to have boyfriend and girlfriends, we would have to have a coach literally just standing by them so they wouldn't be doing anything stupid or fun. And for them fun, for us fun at that age, but since we're adults now, we call it stupid. That's stupid. You don't do that. Boo. You don't do that. But when you don't get caught, yay!